Welcome to Popternative, where we dive into topical discussions from the worlds of pop culture, social media, and sports. Here is your host, Peter Remoliotis, aka PD Beats.
Hello and welcome to Popternative. This is a talk show and podcast where we have digital discussions about everything really. Pop culture, social media, sports, news, a lot of different things. As always, I'm your host, Peter Remoliotis. On social media, know me as PD Beats. My guest is an actor. You will soon recognize him in Amazon Prime's Panic, dropping shortly on Amazon Prime. Cosme Flores Jr. is with us. Cosme, welcome to Popternative, man.
Hey, I'm glad to be here.
I mean, I'm excited for everyone to see it. I'm sure you and the cast and crew are excited for everyone to see it. Has it hit you that it's finally coming out? Panic.
Yeah, I mean, oh man, when the trailer came out, that was when kind of like, okay, things are getting real now because, we've been working on this for a while. And so we were like towards the end when, we had to like kind of stop shooting because of the pandemic, of course.
Yep.
So yeah, it's been kind of, I've been eager for it, you know what I mean? I've been ready for it. So yeah, I've been, when the trailer came out, that's when it's kind of like, okay, this is real now. So.
But
yeah,
I had a chance to speak to a few of your cast members as well. And I believe, like you said, you've been working on this for a while, but in terms of casting, some of the leads were casted like a long time ago for this as well.
Dude. Oh yeah, you can imagine. Like for me, like I'm still new. Obviously, there was cast members who've been there even longer, so I can't even imagine what they must be feeling.
Yeah,
but for me,
Olivia Welch was casted like a while ago for this.
Yeah, so you can only imagine what she's feeling as far as like how long she's been waiting. I think it's been long for me, so I can't imagine what it's like for her.
The trailer's out. And we're gonna obviously not go into spoilers, but it's gonna drop. People are gonna be able to see all 10 episodes on Amazon Prime. Small town, crazy things, tradition of these games and competition for a lot of money. A lot of people kind of use that money to kind of leave the town, so to speak. But there's a lot of kind of surprises on the way, right, Jose?
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, it's these games are, they're meant to challenge you mentally and physically. So it's that kind of thing where it's like, yeah, there's the stakes are really high, and in their mind that's their goal is to try to escape, right? They're trying to get this prize money because this is in their head their only avenue, their only route to what their ideal escape is. So yeah, it's crazy.
And it's interesting too because this in many situations can be seen as like a genre bending show. Like I don't know if you can kind of classify this as like one genre. It has the young adult drama kind of component to it, of course, but there's some scary moments in it, there's some thrilling moments, there's some funny moments. They kind of throw everything in there.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, one of the great things about this script that Lauren Oliver wrote is it's that she's able to find the funny moments, she's able to find the real moments, and she's able to find those scary moments, right? So she's able to tackle all those genres, which I think has been really nice. So yeah, it's I think it's a bit of everything, and it's in a way also very real. In life, things are never one genre. Life's very complex. So I think she does a good job of that.
I think we talked about it before we started. I mean, your character is not like a lead character in the show, but I have to say, and people are going to watch my interview, then watch the show, or vice versa, they're going to groove me. I mean, the scenes that you are in, you do such an amazing job, and you like steal the scene, so to speak. Like you had some, for not being like a lead character, you had some pretty cool moments in the show. There's some cool scenes there.
Oh yeah, man, I definitely. There were some moments where I was just like, I was just super excited, to just be a part of the team and, do my part as much as I could to tell the story that they allowed me to tell, at least for my character. And so, yeah, some of those opportunities are great. There was a lot of fun times for sure.
Absolutely. I mean, people will see it, but your character has a scene with Ray at one point in the season, in the show, and it's just like that whole sequence was amazing. So, you know what scene I'm talking about, right?
Oh yeah. Working with Ray is great, man.
Yeah, but what was it like? Kind of elaborate on that. I mean, there's some amazing people in this cast. I mean, it's an ensemble cast in many ways. What was it like working with the cast and crew for this project?
Yeah, so I'm originally from Texas. So it was nice to work in my home state, especially in Austin because I went to school there.
Yep.
So it was nice to kind of know the area, but I still didn't know the crew. I didn't know most of the cast. I only knew one cast member because we grew up in the same neighborhood, went to the same school, so it was kind of like serendipitous the way it happened with us. But yeah, it was great working with them. Also, just getting to like some of them are have been working a bit longer than I have, or if not way longer than I have. So it was nice to kind of talk to them and kind of see how they've taken their career and what routes they've taken, and kind of learn from that in a way too.
Yeah.
And yeah, like I said, working with Ray was awesome. Ray's a great guy. He brings a great energy into the set. And feeding off of that energy is always great. You know what I mean? It was never the same take anytime we did it. So working with him was great.
There was just so many characters in this show that, and I think that's the point, that just kind of like frustrated me and made, like, for example, there was just a lot of frustrations and a lot of like there's a lot of suspicious kind of behavior by a lot of cast members in this, right? Because like someone's the judge, we don't know, right? That's kind of what's going on. But like, talking to Cameron Jones about that, like Bishop drove me bananas, you know what I mean? Like Dodge drove me bananas and everything. That's kind of a testament also to the writing as well, where these characters are able to kind of like push and pull you in directions. Like we don't like Ray sometimes. Sometimes we like Ray, right? Like that. Like, have you noticed that as well? Like that's a thing as well.
Yeah. Well, I think what's great about this show is it does such a good job of finding the complexities of the characters. They're not always going to be great people, and in life that's just the way it is. Sometimes everybody you meet's not always going to be a great person, but they grow and they develop. And I think that's another thing too, where the development of some of these characters, more so the leads, their character arcs were great. You see them grow, you see them learn, you see them experience life in that world, in that universe, very well. So yeah, it does a good job of hitting all those notes for sure.
Absolutely. You're acting in this. Obviously, acting is kind of the storytelling component that Cosme Flores Jr. is focusing on right now. But a lot of people, end up going behind the camera, end up doing like directing, writing, producing. Obviously, acting is kind of the thing you're focusing on. But have you ever thought about kind of seriously kind of pursuing kind of other things in the entertainment industry as well, like writing, producing, directing? Like, is that something you thought of as well, Cosme?
Yeah, for sure. Me and my friend who I went to school with, we are actually currently writing something of our own, right? It's
Nice.
nothing, I wouldn't say it's anything serious just yet. Like I said, we're just spitballing ideas. We have ideas now. It's like, okay, let's make a mood board, let's make a vision board. How do we want to elaborate further on this? So yeah, definitely, I would love to produce my own stuff. That's kind of the goal also too. I would love to get to the point where I'm at that point where it's just me, my friends producing stuff we want to create, and bringing in friends that we know along the way, and kind of making our own stories. So for sure, I would love to do that.
Absolutely. I'm not going to go into detail about the scene, but I just like people are going to watch this episode and then they're going to watch the show and they're going to know what we're talking about. But one of the first scenes we kind of see your character in, involving heights. I just kind of want to know, I'm just curious from my perspective, man, like what was it like shooting that scene? Like I want to know about that. Like that was a crazy sequence.
Yeah, no. So that scene, I remember reading it in the script and being like, this is going to be interesting. This is going to be I mean, I was definitely excited, but I just didn't know, I mean, I was like, how are they going to do this? What are they going to do necessarily? And the things they did to make this scene possible is great. That's all credit to the production team, that they did such an amazing job doing this. And they also made me feel so confident in my performance doing it. So they gave me that security and they gave me that confidence and allowed me to just really have fun with it, and also working with our stunt team, the stunt coordinator for that was great. He was super willing to work with me and, and kind of coach me and guide me in a way that was very reassuring and allowing me to perform it to the best of my ability. So yeah, it was a good time.
When people watch a show, you're hoping they enjoy it. They hope they watch it and recommend it to their family and friends and everything. But like diving deep into it, because this is a show that has a lot going on. What are you hoping they get out of it when they watch the show? Like takeaway wise, Cosme?
Yeah. So I mean, I think each person might get their own, I guess, lesson from it, right? They might learn something each individually, but I guess they can learn that, maybe I guess there's other ways out, right? There's other way. You don't need to do you don't need to do these dangerous games in order to, find happiness necessarily. You can find happiness in anything, even if that means staying home.
Yeah.
I can relate to that whole thing. And I'm from a small town myself, and being an actor, you want to leave. You want to go and pursue other things that might not necessarily have many opportunities in where you're from. So that idea of me leaving, was big in my head, only to find out that coming back home was so nice.
Yeah.
So that I would hope, that home leaving doesn't necessarily mean success. You can be
Absolutely.
home and still be successful. And so learn to love your home, I guess. That'd be a good
For
lesson.
you specifically in your scenes and everything, how long
Mhm.
was the shooting process for you specifically?
Definitely not as long as the main actors, for sure.
Okay.
But the thing is, the way they shoot is very
Was it
it's
off
not
and
like
on because of COVID
yeah,
too? Yeah.
it was yeah. So we had to, obviously, we took our hiatus, because of COVID. And then once they felt secure enough, and they felt confident enough to bring us back, they did. And they did a good job of making us feel very safe.
For
That will
sure.
say that. But yeah, it was there'd be weeks where I'd work continuously, and there'd be times where I'd work just very scarcely, and it was just varied.
No, absolutely. It's funny because a lot of shows are in the same boat with a hiatus because of COVID. Because I
Mhm.
remember specifically interviewing the cast of the Mighty Ducks Game Changers on Disney Plus,
Mhm.
and they like the pilot was shot
Mhm.
like by itself. Then COVID happened, so that's why a lot of them, when you
Oh
watch it
shit.
after the pilot, they look a lot older.
Yeah, yeah. So they were able to, like, grow up a little bit mature.
Pretty much. That's you watch episode 1 of it, and then you go to episode 2,
Yeah.
and it's like, whoa,
Oh, the
like a year later.
difference. It's
Geek
funny.
culture is huge. Comic book culture is huge. Um,
Mhm.
Nerd culture. It's not going anywhere. There's been
Mhm.
explosive kind of boom in the last kind of 5 years, where it's just like the cool thing to be a nerd, to be a geek.
Oh
There's a
yeah.
lot of universes, a lot of fan bases. You are also part of one of these universes with the Power
Yeah.
Rangers. You got to work on a
Yeah.
Power Rangers show. What was it like
Mhm.
working on that show? And it's
Yeah.
true, man. Geek culture is here to stay.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. Working on Power Rangers was great. You know what I mean? The cast, it was 8 of us. We flew to New Zealand for 9 months, so we were basically just in a different country,
Yep.
knowing absolutely nobody. So we were kind of like forced to become, a family. And I don't honestly, it was great. It, it was such a great experience being in another country. Also, this was my first professional project, so it
Wow.
was also like I kind of just got thrown in. And so it was that kind of thing where it's like I need to learn how to I need to learn the way the schedule works. I need to learn the way this business works now, because obviously I had the training from school, but now I'm in the business side of it, right? So I need to understand and learn that. So that was such a great experience for me to kind of get my foot in the door.
Yep.
And Also, New Zealand's just a beautiful country, and their people are great there. And so it was great to be there, and it was great to live there for a bit, and kind of experience that as well. And then also, Power Rangers is also very different. At least for my character, because I played the comedic relief. So me and my partner Christina, who played my sister in the show, um, it was just a bunch of gags. So it was just a bunch of like, all right, guys, this is the gag for the week. This is what we're going to be doing. So we're going to be having you guys on a rocket bike, and the rocket bike's going to malfunction, and you're going to fly into a lake. So start getting ready for that. And so it's like, oh, okay, cool. And then next week it was, all right, you're going to be swallowed by huge plants, an alien plant.
You're
So
like,
get ready for
sounds
that as
great.
well. Yeah, for sure.
What
Um,
was this? This was one of the Power Rangers that ran on Nickelodeon, I believe, right?
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, yeah. This past season, yeah, because not this current season, but the one prior. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. No, it's great. It's crazy to see. Man, well, like I mean, did you grow up watching Power Rangers a little bit?
Yeah, 100%. And not even just to say, because obviously some people will say they did, even though they did it.
Yeah.
But no, I totally did. I started watching Power Rangers in space. So I didn't start with the Mighty Morphin. I saw the
Yeah.
movies. I saw the Mighty Morphin movie and the Turbo movie, and I love those. But I started with the Power Rangers in Space series.
Yes.
And then I saw every single one, and then up until like Mystic Force, I kind of like started fading away a bit. And then sure enough, when I booked Power Rangers, it just reinvigorated my interest again. So yeah, Power Rangers in Space is the first one for me.
Oh,
Still,
absolutely.
in my opinion, still one of the best theme songs. Also.
Okay, well, I was about to say, I grew up. I'm a '90s kid, right? So I grew up. I'm a '91, so I just recently turned 30, and those were my shows. But like, I cannot get over the fact I listen to all kinds of styles of music, but I'm a big metal fan, and like. Looking back and listening to the theme song of the first like Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, like guitar and everything, like that's a metal theme song for like an 8-year-old. Like
they went hard. They were like, all right, our theme song's gonna slap, so we need to go off. And sure enough, they did, man. They killed it.
Oh man, just like all that Power Rangers, Pokemon, like all of that stuff, man. Like that will never leave me ever.
Oh no, dude, 100%. And it's funny because I was like never like I saw Pokemon, I saw Yu-Gi-Oh, but I was never really into like anime, right? And I didn't even know what anime was. I was always, I always had this idea that anime what, and one of my friends started watching Naruto, and I was like, dude, Naruto, really? That's what we're watching now? He's like, have you seen it? I'm like, no. Sure enough, saw the first episode, finished that first season that day, finished the whole show in 2 weeks, and I was just hooked ever since then.
And one thing too that I'm really into, and I don't speak Japanese, so I don't know like the lyrics of what they're saying, but I'm a big fan of like Japanese rock and metal bands. Like I listen to it all the time.
Dude, the Death Note opening, I think it's the second opening, that metal one, dude.
Maximum the Hormones, Zetsutsu Billy. Maximum the Hormone is the band, Zetsutsu Billy. Yep.
Yeah. That song was awesome.
There's so many. One of the Naruto theme songs is really good too. It's catchy. It's got like a catchiness to it. So good. Yeah, I'm gonna go back and listen to the Death Note soundtrack now.
It's so good. Like it's a great, like, also just like, especially if you want to go and get a good workout in, just you blast that in your end, you're like, yeah, man, I could do anything right now.
Absolutely. The soundtrack to Panic is pretty good too, and it's funny. We were like, there's some great songs in it, and like we interview some artists, like pop artists, on the show too, and like some artists that like we have interviewed, like are in the their songs are in the show, which is pretty cool too. Okay. Like Raisa, her song was in. She's a pop artist. Her song was in one of it, and I believe the song's called Cold Feet. It was in a scene, and I'm like, oh man, like.
Yeah, no, the music is so good. Honestly, this whole show is so. I was so happy with it. You know what I mean? It's so, the way it's shot is so beautifully. The way it's edited is nice.
Dude, crazy.
And the music was just like that. The cherry on top. It's so. I'm really excited about this show, and the music was great.
Absolutely, Cosme, I want to thank you so much for coming on Popternative to chat, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It was great to chat with you. So they're going to be able to see it, I believe, Friday. It's coming out. All 10 episodes.
Yeah.
Binge weekend coming up. It's going to be this is going to be binged by a lot of people. I'm sure you guys have talked about it. Like, it's going to be crazy. Where can people follow you on social media to keep up to date with everything?
Yeah. So I only have an Instagram. Yeah. I don't use a lot of social media. But you can check me out on Instagram and see. I'll post occasionally. But yeah, Instagram would be the way to go.
Cosme Flores Jr., right? Or Cosme Flores?
That's correct. Perfect. Yeah, Cosme Flores Jr., I believe. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, this has been Popternative. YouTube.com/Popternative. For previous episodes, you're going to be able to catch Cosme and the rest of the fantastic cast in Panic, coming on Amazon Prime this Friday, the 28th of May. Until next time, this is Cosme Flores Jr. and PD Beats signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube. Be sure to like Popternative on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.